Welcome to Lesson 4 of the Leadership Career Challenge. In this lesson, we're going to focus on your habits. We've spoken about the long-range vision, and we've talked about the things that you're going to do to make a difference. So you're setting your 1-year targets. Once again, you may want to take a little bit of time just to think through your immediate goals for the year. And of course, as you think more and more about your long-term vision, that may create a few shifts in what you want to do in terms of your short-term targets too. So keep going back to your long-term vision and reflecting on it to make sure that the moves that you're making today are the right ones to get you closer. If you haven't taken the time to think about what your leadership gaps might be and explore some additional resources that could support you, do take the time to do this. This lesson is all about habits. What do real leaders do? One of the main things that separates successful people from unsuccessful are their habits. Amateurs tend to have amateur habits. Professionals tend to have professional habits. You might need to make a shift in your habits to enable you to get closer to that long-term vision. If you want to be that person who gets there to exactly where they want to be, you're going to have to do some things differently. That is, if you want different results from what you've achieved so far. So we're going to talk about setting up some habits that are right for you. What would be the areas of your life that you need to develop better habits in? The first thing is to realize that this is all about you. As I've said, it's really important to make sure that what you're setting up for yourself in terms of either your 12-month goals or your long-term vision is that it has to be about what you want, not what you think others expect of you. If you want to do the right thing by the people that are close to you, you need to make sure that you are being true to yourself. Once you have your own house in order, then you can look at how you're going to support others. It's that whole thing about putting on your own oxygen mask first. I know that for me, how I start the day sets the tone. My number one habit is that my alarm clock goes off at 4:39. 4:39 specifically, because it doesn't feel as early as what 4:30 would, and it doesn't feel as late as what 4:45 could. So yes, a psychological element there. So for me, it's important that I get an early start on the day. This is what I know I need to do as a habit to be the best that I can be. I will then exercise. Part of this is clearing the way a little bit for the start of the day, as when I get to the treadmill part of my exercise, I will spend the first 10 to 15 minutes on the treadmill clearing up my emails from my leadership channel. That way I know that I've got clear priorities that I want to tackle. I will then watch a documentary or a development video if it's one of my scheduled development days. And yes, I schedule these a couple of times a week so that I always have capacity to be working on things that I know I need to improve. So for me, it goes back to that one simple thing. Did I set off right by starting the day at 4:39? For you, it might be something completely different. The thing is, if you want to get more done, then you've got to have the energy to do it. And having enough energy is about a combination of things. If you want to have the energy to get you through the whole day so that you're not feeling tired and overwhelmed by the end of the day, then you'll need to think about the combination of sleep, food, exercise, sunlight, rest. These are all things that we know. It's not rocket science. And on any given week, I will struggle with one or more of these things. That's why I try and have good habits. We all know what needs to be done. The thing is, will we actually develop the habits that we need to make sure that we do these things? Once we start generating more energy, we can be more focused, we can be more present, and at the end of the day when we get home, we still have enough energy left to spend on those that we love. So these personal habits support your career and create a basis of improved performance. One thing I find really useful is a simple method of tracking. Every day I log my exercise. It keeps me on track for what my goals are around exercise. So currently it's about building more lean muscle mass. So I'm paying particular attention to my weight training and making sure I'm balancing different parts of my body to train over the week. I believe what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets done. When I started tracking a number of my habits, I was surprised at the results that I could get. I even logged every food that I ate for a long period of time, which I no longer do now because I did it over years. So I know what food I need to manage my weight and to feel good. I don't need to log it to understand it or the impact that it has on me. I am a bit of a creature of habit too. I tend to eat the same kind of foods every day. However, I will go back to this if there's something that I notice that seems off. So if I gained weight or I didn't feel as good over a period of time, I would probably go back to logging my food again, just to check to make sure that I wasn't actually unintentionally overeating or eating things that perhaps didn't make me feel as good. I just use MyFitnessPal for this because it's easy and it's on my phone. If I am doing this due to a weight change, I will also log my weight every day that I'm logging my food. And I'll do this for a couple of months just to review where I'm at with my intake of food and how I stabilise my weight. This then resets me and will usually quickly result in a positive change, which I can then sustain as I'm back on track. You can do this for any kind of habit that you want to check off. It's easy to lose track if you're not connected to what it is that you're doing. Often we will think, oh yeah, I've got really good habits at sleeping or going to bed early. But then when you manually track it on your phone or sleep tracker, you suddenly realize that, wow, I actually haven't been in bed before 11 o'clock for 4 days. Yet if somebody had asked me, I would have said, hand on heart, yes, I'm definitely in bed by 9. So you can start to learn things about your personal habits and what could be causing you problems, what things you might not be as disciplined in as you think. So then you can focus and start to improve. I have a number of habits every day that I try really hard to keep consistent on. As I said, I often struggle with one or more of these. I get up at 4:39. I do exercise, which is made up of some micro habits. I want to train legs, I want to train arms, I want to do core. I have at least 2 days a week where I focus on watching development videos when I'm on the treadmill. I also have habits around my diet. I try and fast most days. So when I do eat, if my other goal is that I want to build lean muscle mass, I need to make sure that I'm eating enough protein, enough fat, the right balance of carbs. I also try to be alcohol free during the week, as I know that it disrupts my sleep and it can derail some of my choices around food. For some of you, that's not going to be a problem at all, but for me, I love socializing with my friends and family and having a drink, so I have to make sure that I balance this with good moderation. Equally, I have to make sure that all of these things help me get closer to my long-term vision of what I want my life to be like, which includes being really healthy. So this is one component that I'll track really carefully. Then of course, I have my leadership YouTube channel and my leadership career goals. I track things like how much content production I did, whether I was disciplined around my social media responses. This also means I spend time every week reflecting on that long-term vision for me. What's my life going to look like in every area when I get to that state? And that vision in the future helps me with daily, weekly, monthly, long-term decisions that I make in order to help me get there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the daily habits tracker. It's very simple and straightforward as a template for you in the description. In the spreadsheet will be some ideas of things that you might want to track, but it is completely up to you what you want to track because it is your long-term vision. I truly believe that what gets measured gets managed and what gets managed gets achieved. So this is to give you the visibility and awareness of what it is that you're doing to help support your long-term vision. Get your free copy of the Daily Habits spreadsheet in the description and make sure you check out the last video of this Leadership Career Challenge series, which is linked on your screen. And thanks very much for watching.